like, share, subscribe. HCB2 World.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back. So listen, before I get started, let me send a shout out to Mr. Alucard Rules because he reminded me that 526 was out because I honestly forgot to look out for it. So shout out to him. Now with that out of the way, let's talk some chapter 526 of Fairy Tail. Now I'm not sure what's been going on with Hiro Mashima, but Fairy Tail for the most part has actually been pretty decent lately, I mean, I think the last 3 or 4 chapters have actually not only been worth reading, but they've been pretty good. So it looks like he kept that trend going this week. And I gotta say, I loved everything I saw in this chapter. Now, with this chapter, we kind of got some information in terms of, 1, what type of dude Zeref is and how he feels about his demons. And 2, we kind of got to see a little bit of parentage from not only Rakid and Rakid Dragonnail, but also August. Now, starting off with Zeref, it was kind of shocking to see him treat Rakid like that, especially considering the fact that we thought it was his son. But it turns out that's not actually his kid, and the only reason he even gave him the last name Dragonnail is because of the demons he made. He happened to be one of the strongest. Now, unfortunately, I don't understand why Zeref does not care about his demons. Like, granted, they're not really people and this and that, but it seems like if there's anybody that's loyal to him, it's them. I mean, because if you look at it, even some of his Spring and 12 turned their back on him in terms of working with the Fairy Tail members, when really they should have stayed loyal to Zeref. For some reasons, the demons seem the only one that's been all about Zeref, and those have been the ones that he's really had no regard for. I mean, with this situation, we see Rakid trying to help him out, and Zeref is like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Not only are you interrupting my fight with my brother, but I don't even need your help. And without even thinking about it, man, he just straight up destroys this dude. And I'm like, damn, man, that's kind of cold-hearted. So you got this demon on the ground, which we now know is not his son, and it's crying. It's like, yo, I thought you were my father. And he's like, you're just a demon. Like, that sucks, man. Now, in terms of him thinking Zeref was his father, it's got to be one of those things where, how creations always look at the creator as their parent, kind of like how Frankenstein looked at his creator and kind of like how Astro Boy looked at the professor. It's the same thing. So it makes sense why he would use the term father, even if technically Zeref isn't his father. Now, speaking of parentage, if we kick it over to August, that was shocking to find out that August is actually Zeref's son. Not only Zeref's son, but Mavis' son as well. And when you think about the power of those two mages, it makes sense why August is so strong. But I mean, what I don't understand is, if that's actually his father, why didn't he say something to begin with? He's sitting up here and he's questioning Gildarts about the love a parent has for his child and wondering why the king's son can't get any love. And it turns out that he's actually talking about himself. I mean, that was a nice twist, and I'm not sure how Hiro Mashima pulled that out. But, it was actually pretty dope, especially for Fairy Tail, considering the fact that the most recent chapters haven't been getting the love they have been. I mean, recently he's been actually kicking ass. They've been actually pretty good. But when you look back at some of the more recent chapters, they haven't been getting any love. Now, with this whole dynamic of Mavis and Zeref being his father, Mavis and Zeref being his parents, that's crazy. I did not see that coming, but you gotta wonder, why didn't he just go ahead and tell Zeref, hey, I'm your son, this, and that. It should have been easy to prove it, especially considering that, there had to be some kind of records around, or even at any point he could have got precked to say, hey, yeah, this is actually your son. But you gotta wonder, why didn't he ever speak up? Now, in terms of, wanting to know about the love between the parent and the child, why is it that he's so interested in that now? Is it just simply because he's seen Gildarts and Cana that now he's like, oh man, why come I can't get any love? Or even Eileen and Urza. I don't know why it's just coming up now, but it's a little weird that he didn't say anything before. Now, in terms of Gildarts and, talking about parentage, it's kind of interesting to see that Cana finally came out and called him dad. Granted, kind of found out a while ago that that's her father, but for the most part, it kind of made it seem like she really didn't view him as a dad, probably because he wasn't around, or specifically because he wasn't around. So why in this chapter she all of a sudden called him dad? I thought that was pretty interesting. And continuing to speak about Gildarts, one thing we learned in this chapter about Gildarts is that he's actually a pretty smart dude. Granted, we've always known that Gildarts is pretty strong considering some of the things we've seen him do in other chapters, especially with his dismantling magic. But who would have thought that Gildarts was as smart as he was? Now, granted, Gildarts figured out probably early on, a few chapters ago, that his magic wasn't working. But still, that's all he knows, and that's basically what he had to stick to. But now he finally figured out that thanks to Cana, he finally figured out that August's magic relies on copying, which I really didn't see that coming either. But when you think about it, that's got to be one badass power to have, because one, not only with anything your opponent uses you can nullify, and two, you can also turn that around and use it to your advantage. And that makes sense as to why nobody could really hurt this dude and why he's considered one of the strongest. Probably because nobody has figured it out. But finally, Gildarts has figured it out, and they have a way to stop this dude. It looks like, I honestly called that Gildarts and August would kill each other, but it looks like that might not be the case. In fact, it looks like Cana might now be the trump card needed to take August down. Now, with Gildarts actually taking on August and actually being able to get close to him since he figured out his magic, how are they going to actually get Cana to use her powers to take this dude down? Because granted, August isn't going to sit still. It's clear that he's been dodging Cana's physical attacks, dodging her cards and stuff. So how the hell are they going to get this dude to be able to sit still to actually take him down? And also, you know, I wonder what kind of power up that Gildarts got from Cana when she threw that love card in his head. I don't know really what's that going to do to him, but you know, that was actually pretty interesting. Hopefully it infused him with some kind of magic that he can use that he's not normally accustomed to. I think with this next chapter coming up, I think August is definitely going to be taken out somehow. Not quite sure what the end game is going to be, but I feel like he's going to be done. And I think that we're going to get some kind of flashback to his life and shown how he grew up and how and why he tried to stay close to Zeref, even if he didn't go ahead and tell Zeref, hey, I'm your son, or say, hey, you know, where's my mom? But you know, we'll have to see what happens. Other than that, it was a great chapter. I loved it. Quite a bit of information, but really in terms of fighting, I wasn't really too impressed with the fighting. It didn't seem like much happened, but for the most part, it was still a good chapter. Now, with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, because the channel's getting better and I'm coming out with some new stuff, and I want to make sure you guys are a part of it. Now, as always, thanks for tuning in. I'm your boy, Heroes Come Back to do great, be great. I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Peace.